Good to see everybody. You're supposed to say, good to see you too. Yeah, that's like, yeah, see, I like that, right? No, it's good. Am I starting? I'm just going to have a few opening comments. First thing is, it's 34 days until the spring game, which is just crazy. This is the shortest amount of time, including today. That's the shortest amount of time, I think, that I've been a part of since Kansas State. Coach Snyder was notoriously known for getting as much training, much development, as much creation and reinforcement of the standards of your program for as long as you can, and meeting and walkthroughs and things of that nature, and then squeeze those 15 practices in those 4 weeks. And as we know, the days go by really slow sometimes, but the years go by really fast. So it's another spring game opportunity for us, Saturday, April 23rd. What's unique about the 23rd? 23 is kind of the number. I know a lot of people think about Michael Jordan. I get it. But I'm the 23rd head coach at Oklahoma. Some of you all probably already knew that. We've got 23 super seniors. I'm calling them super seniors. We have 23 seniors. Met with the senior council today. And the spring game's on April 23rd. First time we're going out and competing where they're keeping a score. And there's going to be a result is on April 23rd. So something good about that 23. I can feel it. But 3 p.m., we expect to pack the Palace out. And so buy your tickets now. We need everybody to buy their tickets and pack the Palace out. It's going to be a great day for families. It's going to be very centered on families and having a lot of fun with pregame activities and tailgating opportunities. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a great day. We need to pack that stadium out. So looking forward to that. Can't get here soon enough, but we got work to do. And but just going back and kind of how we got to this point, post recruiting and signing day, our guys have been working close to 8 weeks now, and I'm really excited about the off-season program that we had. As we know, this is a developmental game. You only play the game actually 12 times a year where you have play an actual game, and so you practice this game a lot more than you actually play in a game. So we're a developmental program. We're going to really pride ourselves on that and developing in every way, physically and mentally. This team has had an amazing attitude. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a sunshine pumper. I don't live that way. I don't wear those glasses. I guess those would be rose-colored. Those would be rose-colored glasses. Just never lived there. Just sometimes that's not a fun place to live. I'm a little more negative sometimes, but I've been just incredibly impressed with the mindset and the attitude and the buy-in of our players. They've had a get-to as opposed to a got-to mentality, and just a very refreshing, innocent thing to be around. And they're eating out a cup of our hands right now, and I say that with all due respect to them. Just really soaking up everything that they can, whether that's foundationally our values, our culture, what we want to be about, what our standards are. Or again, the work that they have to physically do. So we were able to get a lot of work done over the last couple of months and saw improvement in so many different places, starting with the weight room. Just tremendous improvement with our guys and their strength and their speed. Really got more flexible and more mobile. Just really worked hard on our mobility. Learned the value of commitment and the value of accountability, and really what our expectations are, what our standards are when it comes to those two things. And our guys are now defending those things, and they're rehearsing what it means to be committed and be accountable. And we want to have a culture of certainly of accountability, which leads to a culture of execution. Okay. We obviously, over the last 8 weeks, we've had some opportunity to install schematically our offense and our defense to some degree, as well as our fundamentals and the techniques that go along, with those schemes. Got introduced in those areas as well. Leadership development, every single moment that we've been able to trying to develop leadership. And you got to do that incrementally, one conversation, one activity at a time. and really creating, again, good buy-in, and guys are starting to separate themselves from that standpoint. Probably the most important accomplishment that we've been able to establish, if you will, this winter, went over again in great detail this morning with the guys, is just the installation of our program fundamentals. We talk about the fundamentals of the game, but there's nothing that's more important from a foundation standpoint than rehearsing, reinforcing, building upon the fundamentals of our program, having a very clear vision with our players. So, how we work, how we compete, how we respond. Again, it's the little things, as we know, just establishing our non-negotiables, uncommon effort, a focused intensity, never quit, and an aggressiveness in every single thing that we do, in this program. Everybody's got a blank canvas, a culture of earning it, get an opportunity. So we're not going to go out there with depth charts. We got to run out there with some guys got to go out first, but what we did today isn't going to necessarily going to look like what we do tomorrow, and give a lot of guys an opportunity to earn the right to play, and certainly to compete for positioning. This is a game of performance, not a game of potential, and so we're going to recognize performance going into our first practice. I think it's critical, regardless of where you are in your journey, first year, sixth year. That we put our attention, our focus on just daily improvement, and really try to make it as simple as possible. We talk about yesterdays being dead yesterdays, tomorrow being unborn tomorrows, and really just focusing on today. We got breath in our body here as we speak, and focus on being great right where our feet are. And I think it's very important that we help our young people focus, and they got these fully loaded, Uzis. They don't know where to aim it most of the time. I've got two nephews and two sons, four boys in college. I got two daughters, 12 and 13, and they don't know how to focus. That's one of their problems. They don't know where to aim, and what the target is or what to aim at. And so our job as a program, as leaders in this program, as coaches, is to be the bumpers on the bowling alley for them, keep them out of the gutter. So we're really going to help them focus, just have a daily focus and on just daily improvement. And keep it as simple and basic as you can get it, because that's the name of the game. And, just have a daily focus and a formula for success within that day. And so how we're going to do that is prepare and practice every day with purpose. Not just practice every day, practice and prepare with purpose. Okay? And really, talk about the deep-seated meaning behind purpose, really showing up with, intensity and passion and love for what you're doing. You don't just go to class. You go to class with purpose. You go to class and you're engaged. You go to class and you take notes. You go to class and put your phone away. Same things apply when it comes to the football, the meetings. Everything matters in this program, both internally and externally. So we're going to do our best to again, just have it be a daily focus on daily improvement, have a formula for success every day that they can really apply, and it's very applicable to every part of their life, socially, academically, spiritually, certainly athletically. Number two, again, effort with technique. Can't just be a high effort guy. You don't know where you're going, right? Same thing. You got kickoff coverage. Well, somebody's got to force it. Somebody got to fold. Somebody's going to be unblocked to make the tackle. And then you got a safety involved. Okay, the snapper and the punter, they've got a process. 2.0 is the operation time. Okay, so there's effort with technique. If that punter goes 3-step instead of 2-step, it's 2.2 and a punt's blocked and you lose the game. So you can't just be effort alone. Effort isn't good enough. Uncommon effort's what we talk about, but it's got to be uncommon effort with technique. Okay, that's how you have great execution. And then lastly, in every bit as important, is just an all-in commitment, a lifestyle of excellence, a lifestyle of now, again, an all-in commitment to doing your best in everything that you do, and just reinforcing to our guys how you do anything is how you do everything. And so we got to, just be, committed to something, on a daily basis. And in regards to going in and a daily focus individually for our guys, they have to have great self-awareness where they are in their journey, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then again, what do I need to improve on? Okay, on a daily basis. You can't get it all done in a day. And so, really trying to help our guys, but they need to bring the self-awareness. We're going to be focused on the little things, details. We're going to master the details, master the installation. if the tight end's supposed to be 1 by 1, on the power play, then it can't be 2 by 1 or 1 by 2. It's got to be 1 by 1. And those are, again, non-negotiables. If the safety's supposed to be in the inside tip of number 2 and he's supposed to scooch technique, then you gotta do that. And so really getting our guys to master, the details. Everything we do is going to be about competition. Some guys are going to be in multiple positions. So maybe it's a DB that's majors at corner, but he's also going to play some safety. Maybe it's a defensive tackle that's also going to have some opportunity at defensive end. So he might be a DL if you're going to play both, and the corner or the safety might be called a DB. And once we put those, when something goes to some cloud somewhere and y'all pull it out of the cloud and you start saying what we're calling them, Michael handled that. But it's a new team. You got new faces. Got new leadership. Again, a blank canvas. I know that we have a very rich history and tradition here of success, winning this program in the modern era. We've played, won 7 national championships, won 50 conference championships. And when we take a back seat to nobody, I know I've promoted that. Was a very small part of it for 13 years. But none of that really matters. And I say really, I'm trying to be nice. None of it matters what we do moving forward. It's as simple as where our focus is, the work that we put in today and moving forward. And, we got to start completely over. And as we move forward, we could go win the national championship there. It doesn't matter. This year, when it comes January, we're going to turn the page and we're going to start over again. And we're going to go right back to the beginning, right back to the basics, right back to the fundamentals of the program. And my job is to reinforce those fundamentals, a vision of our program, what our value system is, and try to get our players to completely and totally buy in, be immersed in each and every bit of that. And the football part of it is an extremely important part of that, but foundationally and longevity and sustainability, I think it's very important that we keep the main thing, and that's what that looks like when it comes to a football standpoint. Hard to assess the progress, quote unquote, of our guys with no practices yet. But again, as I said before, just very pleased holistically of the buy-in, of the acceptance of the reestablishment of many standards, and at many places it's a very hard to reach expectation. But our guys have responded. We certainly have not been perfect. We've had some moments through the last 8 weeks where maybe an individual didn't meet the standard, so I'm not trying to paint the picture like everybody's had a A+ grade. But here's what I do know. Everyone has responded the right way when they've had a moment where maybe they didn't have their best day. And so we always talk about, again, having our eyes forward as a program with a windshield mentality. It's always about what's next. And you got to learn from the past, again, the dead yesterday, but we got to really focus about what's next. And if we do that, we know the best is always yet to come. We have 11 mid-years out of high school and 10 transfers, so a total of 21 mid-years that for the first time will be taking snaps for us wearing a Sooner uniform. Really pleased again with the level of conditioning. I think Coach Schmidt and the staff did an amazing job. Out of our top 10 guys, 6 of those guys are portal in regards to returning experience. And so that was a real focus, when we looked at some portal options is, okay, we're losing a ton of, I think, over half of our experience on our roster gone from total starts. And so we really wanted to replace that experience with not only experience, but successful experience. It's like the coach, he has this resume and he's been to 30 places. He's been in the NFL, he's been in high school, he's been in college, he's been in all these places. Okay, that looks good on the surface, but maybe he can't keep a job. Maybe he lacks loyalty. Maybe he can't be happy. Maybe he's difficult to work with. So it's not just having quote unquote experience, but successful experience too. And so we really are excited about again, 6 of the top 10 guys on our roster when it comes to returning experience are portal guys, and we expect all of them to create some opportunities for themselves in some shape or form. And really about all the guys, I know I talked about the daily improvement and that daily focus and that formula for success. The challenge to the guys individually is you've got to create opportunity. You got to create value for yourself every day by the work that you put in, by the accountability that you bring, by the coachability, by how you respond, knowing what to do, learning how to compete at the highest level. And so really talk to our guys a lot about creating that value for themselves throughout the course of the spring. Young guys, going to be a lot, again, as I already talked about, but particularly those freshmen. There a lot of those guys will come in. I'm sure there's going to be some anxiousness and some anxiety. And, for a lot of those guys, it'll be their first college practice. And so we got to really do a good job of being mindful of that and helping them and not putting too much on them, and make sure that we meet them where they are. They're where they're at right now pales in comparison, as we all know, to where they're going to be within their journey. That 17, 18, 19-year-old version is going to look a lot different than that 22, 23-year-old version, just like when they were 13 or 14-year-olds in high school to where they are as 18 and 19-year-olds. So there's going to be that same transformation that takes place, and so really we're going to try to help serve them that way, and not allow them to put too much on themselves. But again, pleased with attitude, effort, intensity that the players have brought to the table. Our staff, really thrilled, again, with the staff. Very natural cohesion, good development. There's some new parts that are mixing together, but offense and defense together as a football staff with our support staff as well. We've more than doubled in size, and so just being bigger doesn't mean better. Some people will trump that. We got more. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. And but to me, looking at efficiency and the delegation of responsibilities, and then the accountability that goes along with that to make us, the most efficient program in college football. And but really excited about where we are together as a staff. The relationships that we have, the trust that we have developed. Some of it has already taken place because of relationships prior, and some of it has fit like a glove, like I had hoped, like I had envisioned, and that doesn't necessarily always happen. And but the first experience doesn't necessarily mean it tells the future either. I don't know if I said that right, probably didn't. But one of our first staff meetings back in 1999, where we were out of the Residence Inn. We had some good times over at the Residence Inn, our staff meetings that were over there. Remember, there's some trailers out here. There was no full-time football facility yet. So through whatever it was, December, January, we were staying at the Residence Inn, and then we were on the road recruiting. And so our staff development time, if you will, was done over at the Residence Inn, usually in Mangino's room. He was the godfather. And but our first staff meeting here at Oklahoma, probably have heard the story to some degree. In this first time that Mike Leach and Mangino are talking quote unquote ball, and Leach he's a man of few words, and Coach Stoops is introducing everybody, and he introduced Coach Mangino as the run game coordinator and co-offensive coordinator, and somehow, some way, we got on the ball plays, and then like in one of the staples of Mark Mangino's offense is to run the power. So you block down, you double, and you kick out, and then you pull the guard around, and that was not in the power was not in Mike Leach's offensive playbook, and so after Mangino tells him what he's going to practice and can't wait to put that in, and out of the spread concept, and Leach is standing there with his coffee, and he says, well, you can practice it all you want. I'm not calling it in the game. And he was like, that's it. So that was the first staff meeting. So that didn't go off very well, but as y'all know, it ended up pretty good. So 1 year later, we win the national championship. But anyway, we've really had a good time getting to know one another and working together and putting together a good game plan going into spring ball. But it couldn't be, again, more pleased with the players' hunger and thirst for structure, accountability, discipline. If I've had one, I've had 1,000 conversations with players that have come up to me and said, thank you for the structure. Thank you for the accountability. Thank you for the attention to detail. Thank you for the discipline. And so, you don't necessarily need that, whether they're excited about that or not. But it's good affirmation to know that there's a lot of buy-in. And as we all know, sometimes we fight the accountability as people, right? As adults in our own worlds. But we all know we need it to be successful, to sustain, to have longevity, doing anything successfully. There's going to be plenty of bumps along the road as we just look ahead. I'm anticipating Murphy's Law, right? You all know Murphy? What's Murphy's Law? What's Murphy's Law? You know Murphy's Law? Hey, whatever can go wrong will go wrong, right? But Murphy's getting ready to get beat down, okay? So that's what I know, just preparing for adversity, and that's what that's just our mindset, just, it's coming. And whether it's as a program or certainly for our players and their day-to-day battles through spring ball, not everything's going to go like we want, but again, just getting our guys with the mindset. I was like, oh yeah, you said that was going to happen. Good, good, because we know that's where the real growth happens. And there's not going to be change in the development if we don't have a challenge, and so that's our responsibility to create stress, create a challenge for our guys this spring. I'm really excited. We got a great game plan to do so, and to help our guys really grow and improve, and again with the daily mindset. So I think that kind of covers from my opening words, and I'll open it up. Mike, I think we'll control it from here.
Yep, thanks, Coach. We'll take some questions. We'll start with Ryan Haber from the Oklahoman. All right. Yeah, Brent, I know you said that it's hard to evaluate individual progress, but wanted to know what you've seen out of Dylan Gabriel physically and leadership-wise, and what are you most looking to see out of him this spring?
Okay, great question. Obviously, I wish I could see him throw. I haven't been able to do that. I've seen video like probably everybody else. So when we were in the recruiting process, and it really didn't take much recruiting, it was already kind of when we asked him, he was ready to come with just a few questions to be answered. But he's a leader. He's a worker. He's very ambitious. He's self-driven, very humble, incredibly confident. Great self-awareness, understands where he needs to get better, and that's just through conversation. But guys follow him. The best of the best make others around them better, and he's intentionally done that through relationships and through work. But he's a good athlete, got good quickness, very, very competitive, ultra competitive, and just got a great sense of humility to him that is fun to deal with. Our job's hard enough as it is. If I was a jerk up here, you all still have to cover Oklahoma, but it wouldn't be as fun for y'all, and it certainly wouldn't be fun for me if I was dealing with a jerk either. And same thing when you're coaching, it's no different. You can become disinterested in coaching somebody that doesn't want to be coached. That happens over time too. That makes coaching no fun when there's not buy-in, when there's not guys that want to be held accountable, things of that nature. But man, he's a pro in every way. He knows he's got to be the example as one of the leaders in this program, as potential face of a program like Oklahoma. Being the quarterback at Oklahoma is a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and he knows it, and he values it, and he respects it. And so he just works hard every day. If I was just kind of, this is kind of who he is. He just works hard every day. He doesn't want to let anybody down, and he's betting on himself. And so he's fearless. He's got a go for broke mindset, go for broke attitude, and I'm really excited to see him, go to work. Yep.
Far right side, Eric Bailey, Tulsa World.
Brent, it's good to see you, man.
You too.
I wanted to ask you, I think this is the first major overhaul of both the offense and defense since teams arrived in '99. How do you strike a balance between being patient during the learning process, but yet still commanding a sense of urgency because these guys do need to learn what they're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've always been, regardless of the situation, I've had that everything starts. It doesn't matter how many sacks you had last year, how many touchdowns you threw, how many pancakes you had. You got to start over every year. So it really, the balance is just organically there. I don't know if that's really answering it, but how do you? I think you have to be intentional. Again, meet guys where they're at. But you gotta strain the ones that you think, as we go through this process, the ones that need to grow up faster. You can't ask guys to do what they're not able to do. Oh, that's just what we do. No, that's not how it works. To me, to be successful, you got to figure out quickly, strengths and weaknesses, whether that's, in your personnel, and try to, enhance those strengths, improve the weaknesses, attack the weaknesses every day. There's got to be a lot of awareness in what we're doing, a lot of purpose every day as a staff, and what we're seeing, what we're evaluating. And again, to me, knowing that, okay, we lack some experience, okay, then make sure that whatever it is that we're doing, we're meeting our guys where they're at. We're trying to take them to places they can't take themselves. And then, again, know that this is a process. This is the get ready phase of our program. We got get ready, we got transformational, we got prime time, and then we got championship phase. And so, again, getting our guys to focus on the target, okay, and, letting a guy like Javante Barnes know right out the gate, just got here out of Las Vegas, like, don't worry about rushing for 1,000 yards as a freshman right now. Just worry about knowing what stretch line to get in, and really, but not taking any of that for granted either, and trying to help expeditiously, develop all of it, and it can't ever happen fast enough. But I think the players are going to feed off of us. So there's that fine line of, to me, that's who I have always been as a leader, and very demanding, high expectations. Willing to do the work myself, get in the mud with the guys, and help them get to where we want them to go quickly. And sometimes it happens really quick, and then sometimes it takes some people to develop. It just takes a little bit more time. And most of that you're not going to know until you actually get in there, see how they learn, how they respond, what kind of maturity they have, what kind of life they're living off the field, things of that nature.
Yeah, Brent, I think we're still trying to understand your philosophies on a lot of different things. When it comes recruiting, are you going to allow commits to make visits to other schools? Can you sort of explain how you're going to handle
Well, what's commitment mean to you? Are you married?
I am.
All right. So you asked your wife to marry you, right? When? Where were you? Let me just say, where were you when you asked your wife to marry you?
Lake Hefner.
All right, Lake Hefner. Okay. So in that moment, and what's her name? Brittany. When you asked Brittany to marry you, right? Was your intention after she said yes? All right. So there's a commitment that takes place, right? Is to go date other women and do your thing, Johnny Gigolo, or how'd that work for you? Did you try that?
I did not, no.
But you waited until you were ready, though. That you knew, right? So that's who we want to be as a person. Hey, we ain't not trying to force commit. Do not commit here until you're ready to make a commitment, because a commitment is not a reservation. If you say, hey, Brittany, you want to get married? Let's get married November 30th. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go see Sally and Michelle and Lisa. She ain't going to meet you there, but, good luck on November 30th, right? So why is it any different? Like commitment, teach young people what commitment means. Okay. What that means. And so I'm not going to apologize for. And that's why we tell them, do not take as many visits as you want. I think, personally, that the Oklahoma brand will stick out. You may not come here, but you're going to really like it. Okay? You may not come here, okay, but I'm glad you didn't if you're not ready to make a real deep-seated commitment, okay? Because it's a two-way street, all right? Some people, even the coaches are bad examples. Now, they'll take a commitment, and then 3 days before signing day, they call a kid that had been committed for a year, oh, by the way, we don't have a spot for you because I found a guy better than you, and your only opportunity to come here is if you gray shirt or pay for your own first year. What kind of example is that? That's bad form. But that's kind of where we are, people that lack a moral compass. So I'm not going to apologize for having a moral compass. I want to teach our young people what commitment is, what it looks like. And, certainly, things could change, where maybe there's flaws in that thinking. But I know there's a lot of flaws in taking a commitment, making a reservation, and then going to go doing your thing. How can I manage a roster, or who else I need to offer if I got 9 guys committed, but they're going to Bama and Georgia and LSU and A&M? How can I manage? How can I take commitments? I don't know what my numbers are. And so just my way of trying to manage the roster the best to my ability. And again, teach our guys, ethics and morality, and again, we could sit here and try to diminish in that whole process and say, well, coaches are doing. I'm just saying we're trying to be the example of trying to do it the right way, and right, wrong, or indifferent. But I don't want a guy to commit. Do not commit. Like, Hey, coach, I'm ready to commit. Hey, buddy, here's what commitment looks like now. Okay, I want to make sure that you know that you know that you know that you know that you know. So when I say, will you marry me? You say yes, and we get married. Okay, and then we start off on the right foot, not like I dated 4 or 5 women and all of a sudden we feel in some kind of way. You know, is somebody going to actually show up on November 30th? Again, it's just not the right way, and it's just another way, like I said, and that's, so it's not like we're trying to get all these commitments and not let guys go see places. I'm trying to tell them, go as many places as you can. Save us for last. You know, we're not trying to force anybody to commit. I would never do that. You know, I got too much respect for the enormity of the decision. Do people change minds? Absolutely. Okay, if a guy commits and we take a commitment and all next thing you know, he goes out and he robs a 7-Eleven, commitment's over on our side, right? Fair enough? Or a guy goes and he's on life support and can't graduate high school because he didn't try, didn't show up, man, commitment's over on our side. But we're very explicit, you know, just create I'm going to recruit every guy the same way. Not going to change up on anybody. I'm not going to make any promises. Recruit this guy this way and recruit this guy this way. I'm going to be open and transparent and honest. And I just think that's what'll attract the right guys. You know, they're going to, hopefully have some stick-to-itness to them. We can have longevity and stability as a program, and just a stability in the recruiting class. You know, I see these guys have all these commitments. You know, one school in the Southeast, and they've got like 3D commitments in the last week. You know, and they don't sign on, and I think this is for that 23 all the way till whenever it is, December. Is that when it is? So anyway, we don't want to be first. You know, we want to be the right one.
Second row, flip front, AP.
Because you said that kind of like shame on you for doing that, letting these guys take visits. That's not it, right? Just so I know you're painting it the right way, but people say that, but they're not, like, nobody is trying to force the hand. As a matter of fact, we're telling them, do not commit. Telling mom, telling dad, we don't want to do that. We don't want to change our mind. And again, tell them what commitment really means. Like, it's got to mean something, man. Say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Your word's got to mean something. Good name, right? Okay, what you got? I'm coming at you. No.
So we're coming off a couple of years where spring practices were affected by COVID. With that being said, now it looks like things are okay. Given that, and looking at the last couple of years, programs having to make adjustments and so on at that time of year, big picture perspective, how important is this part of the overall picture? Spring practice and being able to actually do it and get through it.
Yeah, I think, again, from a development standpoint, it's critical. And in so many programs, some of it was not on the same playing field, if you will. Maybe it's where they're located in a part of the country and some of the state laws and requirements, or maybe it was some teams were just badly hit, more so than others. And then some teams they opted out as a program, whether that's in the spring or that's in the, during, say, bowl game preparation. You get an extra, give or take, 12 to 18 practices of continued development. This, again, I started this is a developmental game. And so whether that's the weight room, whether that's the mindset, whether that's being committed to something, and teaching our guys, what those standards are, all of those things, programmatically, foundationally, and then the physical place, in the grass, in the weeds, on the field, and the execution, and the precision, everything was affected. Not everybody the same, but everybody was affected dramatically. So, yeah, it's going to be, again, knock on wood, right, that it'll be back to normal, so to speak, and from just having your guys and not having the issues or the virus to deal with and things of that nature.
Okay, let's go front row, John Hoover, SI Seniors.
Brent, you've been here almost 4 months now. What do you know about this team, the players? What do you not know, and what do you want to know going forward?
Yeah, so, well, again, I think just to reinforce, what I said, I believe in the buy-in has been there. the acceptance, the thirst and the hunger for structure, for accountability, for discipline, for relationships, they love the soul mission and the holistic, approach. Just help guys be better young people, help them figure out their journey. It can't be all about just ball. I'm just talking about being ready for life. Like life's coming, like quickly. It's right over there. Okay. And you may not, this is a young man's game. You can't play it forever. And, so just, guys have loved the importance that we've placed on, focusing on the total person, if you will. It's a very real thing. You can't fabricate it, and you can't just do it like, okay, now we just developed a man by one day. It's just, changing the direction of the sail, so to speak, as a program, and you can do it all. But it can't be all ball. It's like, again, I was talking to Teddy Lehman. He likes to play roulette. He thinks he knows how to play roulette. Well, look, too often I see young people in athletics, in college football, they show up and they're going all red or all black or all even or all odd. They're putting everything on that. And it's a very empty place to be. And I don't want our guys to come in here and be that way. You can still win at the highest level, do it the right way, and prepare these guys, equip them, empower them, not entitle them. If you allow them to be all about ball, like, man, this guy, he's skipping class, he's up here, somehow he's staying eligible, but I don't know, does he go to class? And you're not taking any opportunity to develop relationships, and it's all about 6'2" Mau and throwing touchdowns. I think that's a very dysfunctional place, to live, and I just don't believe in that.
Will come later, I presume.
What's that?
As you get to know the team, that stuff will come later.
What's that?
Whether you can kick slide to the left.
No, I think it's all important. I think you do it all. And so what do I know? A lot of that, we haven't been on the field yet. And so what have we been able to do? We've been able to work them out. We've been able to make sure they know how to show up on time. We need to teach them value of having the right mindset, understand big team, little me, making sure that we're doing everything we can to recognize performance, okay, in our different ways. And because some words are powerful. There's life and death in words. And so we got to make sure that we're speaking life into them, intentionally, purposely speaking life into them, not lying to them, not tricking them, just being real with them and honest with them. So from an evaluation standpoint in the football, the workouts and things of that nature, just having our processes in place that we can recognize performance and correct when it doesn't meet the standard. And again, reestablishing, rehearsing our values, what we want to be about, what's going to be the most important parts in this program. It's graduation. Okay. So it's not okay not to go to class. Okay. It's not okay. And, so they're watching me. Okay. I said that. Now what? What are you going to do? Okay. So we'll see. And, so we've had accountability teams. We put those together within the first week of being here. And, so just to try to find different layers of certainly communication, like I've been talking about, and then layers of accountability. It can't be just me. It's our whole program. It's programmatically, it's me, it's our staff, it's our support staff. You have to have some guidelines for the guys. Some people call those rules. Call them whatever you want, but just you're establishing all of those things. And none of it happens as fast as you want it to. But I know this, we're moving the needle in the right direction in all those areas. I feel really good about the processes that we have in place now. And again, we're not anywhere close to where I want to be in any of those things off the field or on the field. And but from the players, their attitude has been terrific. It's just been a lot better than maybe I anticipated. I just thought there'd be a little bit more, just a little bit of pushback. There's been none. And maybe some guys, that decided early on, even maybe before I got here, that, okay, this isn't what I signed up for, which that's okay. They didn't sign up for it. That's okay. You have that right and that opportunity to move on. And so maybe that's why we've done some pruning that way. But it's some of it's hard to evaluate, but in regards to effort, in regards to consistency, showing up with the right mindset, showing up with the right kind of effort, good body language, leadership, communication. It's been really good. It's been really good on and off the field.
James Hale, CBS Sports Radio.
You know, Brent, how difficult is this install going to be with your new defense and your new offense from what they have been running? It seems like there are some major differences in what they were running before. So how difficult will this install be?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're straining it no matter what. I always, obviously the first hurdle is just learning a new language, okay, on both sides of the ball. It's like, so since we got here, hey, here's the playbooks. Hey, fellas, here's the installs are already there. You got to go watch them on your own. You have built-in, you have 8 hours. Now we're going to 20 hours a week. You have some, some parameters on what you're able to do with your guys. And so, I think the player buy-in, guys that have done it on their own, has been good in trying to, break the language barrier. I think that's the number one thing from a installation standpoint. And then the fundamentals that go along with those installations. So in some of our 8 weeks of, mat drills and speed school and things of that nature, we've been able to incorporate some of that so that, when we start up this week, it won't be as new, as foreign for them. But I think it's hard no matter what. Like, I think there's real strain and stress, whether you've been here for 10 straight years or it's your first year. And, but I think being an effective teacher minimizes how difficult it is. I think being a good motivator and inspire guys to learn and be hungry and show up so they can sponge it. And but being effective teachers in both the classroom and on the field is a very important aspect. I feel like I've gotten intentionally found really good teachers of the game to make it easy. And that's what a good coach will do. He takes the difficult or the intrinsic, and he just finds a way to make it easy. The complicated, and simplifies it. So, we still have to meet them where they're at and give them what they can handle, but we're going to, again, strain them the whole way, so hopefully not too difficult. Yep.
We're running a little low on time. I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple more here. Jesse Crittenden, Norman Transcript.
Good talking to you.
You too.
Hey, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but obviously as a new coach, you've got new assistants, new players, returning coaches. Just how important are these practices going to be with assimilating everybody together, and how do you kind of approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, doing a good job in regards to the preparation on the front end is very important. And so we've been in that process of preparing for this. Sun Tzu says, right, every battle's won before it's fought. And that's where I think the separation comes, is through that preparation. And so as a staff, getting everybody, we're going to go out this afternoon, we're going to do a walkthrough. We're going to walk through tomorrow's practice as a staff. Make sure everybody knows where to be, how we're going to move. Players are paying attention to all of that. And so try to be, incredibly detailed, and so that we can be demanding. Coaches got to, it's one thing, do as you say, right? Not as you do. So we got to do a good job of the doing. We're going to tell the players to be about it. Well, we need to be too. And so that's a big part of it too. That'll be our first time as a staff being on the practice field together. And, I've tried to get our coaches to understand through 8 weeks of mat drills and workouts what the standard looks like to me, and to make sure that we're, everybody is, the coaches are all in too. It can't just be the players. And the commitment, the focus, the intensity, the passion, the details, it comes from everybody. And my job is to manage everybody and hold everybody accountable. And but you got to create the awareness for everybody. And but the cohesion for us on the field is an incredibly important aspect to having a good practice. And so we're going to do that. And then and I think you maybe had a two-part question. You said you were talking about us being the first time on the field. Is there another part of that? Did I answer it? Okay. How I approach it as a coach? Yeah. I mean, you got to rehearse it, and you got to go through it, and we put the overheads on. We got the, the satellite pictures, and, and then, where, group A, group B, and then when we go to this drill, we're going to all move to this field. And so then on their practice schedule, they literally got a dot to dot. I mean, it's dummy proof. okay, for the coaches. Open your script up. There's the picture. Oh, my God, I'm on the wrong field, right? That might happen tomorrow, okay? So God bless them if it does.
Any Mangino Beach stories you want to tell from here on out, I'm all in for those. No, my question though was, obviously you talked about the fact you've been ready for this opportunity to be a head coach for a long time, but now that you're several months in, when you think about the way your days and hours are spent, anything that has surprised you at all about just where your time goes during the day or during a week?
I would say that you don't, you're not doing the day-to-day ball like I literally would be, and the coaches are doing it. Would we be on Kansas State today? Like we've already done UTEP, right? Kent State, and that's where you spend a lot of your time as an assistant. You'd steal 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Maybe you're looking ahead to the 24 recruiting class at your position, and or maybe you're talking about Tampa 2, with your back seven guys, and so you pulled it a little bit that way. I still have time for ball, and then once we get what we've had to do for me and my schedules starting tomorrow is kind of reorganize my schedule. Now that we're getting into the spring, like we will in the fall, I've got these 5 hours that are dedicated, these 6 hours that are dedicated just ball for me. And this is the exact time, so don't bother me during those times. Everything else, unless it's a complete emergency with a player, players always have an open door for me. But try to organize moving forward starting in the spring that way. But I really like it. Like, I don't like people, there's no way he would like that or he wouldn't be good at that. Like, why? Like, again, you put your heart into it. Like, you can't be a defensive coordinator in all, again, I'm not like bragging, but I've never been a part of a losing team. So I've done my part to be a good teammate to help us have success. So I know how to do that. And so you do this, you use the same things, maybe it's a daily focus. Maybe I show up every day with purpose. I was showing up to the linebacker meeting room with purpose. Well, now I'm standing here in front of the media with purpose. I got to do a good job of connecting with you all so you understand the vision of the program so that you can articulate. I don't have to be everybody's best friend, but I also, I got people that want to be connected to this program, and I do that through y'all. Okay, and then you get your insight through me. Why would I stand there? There's some things that you won't know about until after it happens, and some things that I want to be honest and transparent all the time, and like, come on. And but for me, again, you said it, like, I've been working for this opportunity for a long time, but I've never sat there and like, oh my God, look at my phone, whose phone is this? Like, oh my God, is somebody gonna call me, text me for a job? Like, I've never tried to promote myself for anything. I didn't have Dabo Sweeney or Dan Radakovich or President Jim Clements call anybody at Oklahoma when this opportunity came. So even after the initial conversations, if I was like trying to lobby and get this job, I just said, you know what, I've got peace. If it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. I don't need anybody to have to. Now, if they want to do their due diligence, Oklahoma, and go check with those people, great. And but I've just tried to. I don't know how you can be at more than two places or be in two places at once and be great. And so for me, I'm just going to try to be great as a head coach. And so how have I balanced all that? And what's been hard? None of it's, again, I'm in a very demanding profession. You're dealing with 17, 18 to 22-year-olds, and it's exhausting, right? Right, as a parent, right? So I love it. Like, I don't, it's not like work, and so this part isn't like work either. And again, you have your normal battles, you have your normal competition, your daily goals, you have a big vision. What do we got to get accomplished? I love being in a result driven profession. Like, that's cool to be on a team. Like, I've been on a team almost my whole life. And part of that is just you're all working together for a common purpose. And so I'm just in a different role, but it's still the same so many ways. I just have to, I have to put out some other fires too, Instead of in the city, I got to go out in the country and put out some country fires, or maybe in the, in the forest, So there's some different X's and O's involved with that. But to me, it's all still the same. And the biggest thing is that it's still relational. It's still about people. It's still about being connected. It's still about being passionate. It's still about having a work ethic. It's still about being detailed and organized and being a leader. I've been a leader, you know, and I've been around amazing leaders. And so, again, it's like I said, I haven't had any, you know, and it's coming. I told you Murphy's Law is coming, right? It's getting ready to happen at some point in time, like any a big, you know, things that I've had to deal with yet. At some point in time, that'll happen too. And to me, that's going to be an easy thing too, in its own organic way. It's like how you respond. Just do what's right. And then you're always going to be on the right side of it. You're not going to please everybody. Everybody's going to judge you and everything else. I've never been worried. Like making the call in a game at the most critical time, I've never put together a game plan or made a call in a game where I was worried about what everybody else is going to think. Just never have. And Bob Stoops told me that years and years and years ago. Like, don't ever be afraid. So, you know, he has this aggressive mindset as a defensive coordinator, and so I learned that as a GA from him. You know, don't ever worry about the critique that might be there, the criticism that you're going to receive for making that bad call or, you know, that bad decision. You know, just how you respond, I think, is what matters most. So.
Coach, it's 2 o'clock. Do you have time for one more?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
You have time, Brent?
Yeah.
This is Brent. You may have already covered. If you haven't, you can excuse yourself. We'll go on.
You weren't listening? My man was texting back there. Huh?
My phone's up there.
Hey, he's still dating. I'm kidding.
I've listened to you for a long time. I'm not going to stop now. The bumps in the road that you referenced a long time ago and the what's coming, you know it's coming, stuff that's going to maybe get sideways for you. I want to know how better equipped or differently equipped you are to handle that than you were as a guy fresh out of the oven 23 years ago when you first came here.
Yeah,
And if you feel it's going to be different as a head coach. than it was as a coordinator.
yeah, like the target's a little bit different in some ways. Like you still have it to a certain degree, a lesser degree if you're in a coordinator spot. Sometimes a lesser degree, but it's still everything starts and stops with you, which it should be. And I mean, I've been scarred up. You know, that's what I'd say. I got lots of scars. Some of them that are visible, some of them that aren't. Some of them are as a husband and a father and a brother, as a coach. Some of them are on the field, some of them are off. And just through again, just being scarred up, going through stuff, going through life has prepared me for the continued adversity. Again, foundationally, you know, I feel like I got a great foundation. I keep the main thing, and you know, I don't sit here and promote, you know, what all my beliefs are, but I think my belief system and foundation of faith and surrounding myself with good people helps me. It's not like, again, I have good counsel too, you know. That's why I hired the staff that I did. And so, you know, decisions are made, you know, many times I'm going to have the final say, but you corroborate with, you know, the people that you surrounded yourself with, good counsel. And so I know I've done that. I have a great deal of peace about that. And then again, I'm from a leadership standpoint, I work at a place, there's nowhere in college football that has better leadership than what we have here at the University of Oklahoma. And so I think, because I think that's important, that, you know, it's not just me, even though I'm up here at the pulpit, I get that. Like, I'm going to, which is, again, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I just think through, again, you said, you know, through your 23 years, lots of experiences, and some of it has gone very well and some of it that hasn't. But you have, you know, even in those different roles, you've had lots of decisions to make and lots of adversity and lots of failure. You know, nobody likes it. Everybody loves the mountaintop experience. Nobody likes to be down in that valley. And that's a tough place to be, and as we know. But growth and the improvement process can be very discouraging sometimes. Even so, you're not, you know, vulnerable or susceptible or any less susceptible than anybody else. You know, and so through all that is kind of sharpens you up and equips you. You know. And then again, I've had amazing people be great examples. So I've just tried to be very aware of people that have been in leadership positions around me in day to day, and lots of big decisions. Like Bob Stoops that day. So I recruited Rhett Bomar, and so that goes down right on the first day coming back. Had no idea that Rhett Bomar is no longer going to be here, and Paul Thompson's the quarterback, and he's moved from receiver to be our quarterback. It's 2006, right? And I was like, whoa, it's 3 years recruiting this guy. So again, young linebacker coach. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, can't we just suspend him a couple games? And which games I was thinking, like those games, like we're in charge. And for me, so like I'm taking you back to this place because I didn't have the answers. I wasn't equipped then. And but Bob, he's like, no, I gave him, and I'm not trying to rake, Rhett back in under the coals, but I gave him 3 opportunities. He was dishonest. I gave him some grace, and he was still dishonest. And I got this team, Bob's had a career of doing what's right. And what a great example of that was for me at that young time. I'm like, oh man. I'm kind of like I said, I don't wear those rose color. I'm like, we'll be fine. I don't think like that. I'm like ready, like timber, yeah. And and then I went to Clemson, my first year at Clemson. So we're going to open up with Auburn. Our first game was we're going to play in Atlanta, where I guess Clemson at the time thought we can't beat anybody in Atlanta. There's some curse in Atlanta, like Clemson can't win in Atlanta. I was like, God, why does everybody say that? Like that doesn't have to be true. But everybody thought it was true. So all spring I got baptized because they had Nuke Hopkins, and they had Sammy Watkins, and they had Jerome Brown, and they had Andre Ellington, and they had Adam Humphreys, and all these guys are like really good NFL players. And I just got baptized all spring, and so we're getting ready to go into fall camp, and we're going to suspend Sammy Watkins. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, we're opening up with Auburn. So here I am again, same spot. And so I'm raising my hand. I'm like, because it was nothing. He didn't get arrested or anything else, but he got caught in a bad situation where he happened to be there. And I'm like, we're going to suspend this guy for that? And I'm like, come on. How about the next week? We were playing Ball State or somebody, but coach stuck with his guns, and it was just another affirmation for me. Is like, I'm trying to help this guy. Not only we sent him once, we sent him for like 3 games. And so for me, it was just like, and we won anyway. We won 26-19. And we didn't need Sammy. And so it was just a lesson for me. I've got countless examples like that. And I'm telling you, I was on the wrong side of it. It's easy when you're sitting over there as an assistant. You're like, but anyway, I've had a lot of examples, been scarred up, lots of experiences, and so we'll see. And there'll be other opportunities. Like, I'm not going to be perfect. I can tell you right now, there's no perfect person in this program, and we're there's going to be some mistakes made, and again, hopefully, I'll respond the right way. When those things happen, but that'll happen too. I'll be on the wrong side. I'm like, dang it, they didn't do that right. Whatever. Maybe it's just coming out of a meeting, the tone of the meeting wasn't good. Or maybe it's responding on the field to a mistake, or I wish I would have handled it, better. And I've had that happen my whole career. My wife reminds me all the time. So.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks,
all right.
everybody.
All right. Appreciate it.
Coach, did you want to make a note?
Oh, yeah. Hey, one more thing. Okay? We're going to open practice for y'all next couple days for a part of practice. So we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. So Mike will give you the details of that, and we'll have some fun so you guys can do your own evaluations of the guys. That'll be fun, okay? Look forward to seeing everybody. All right.